This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. The City of Winnipeg is preparing to move forward on one of its biggest infrastructure projects ever, the widening of Kenaston Boulevard and the replacement of the St. James Bridge. And construction could start as early as 2027. CBC's Cameron McLean has more.
If you've driven here on Kenaston Boulevard, you know how bad traffic can get. Mayor Scott Gillingham made widening this road a key campaign promise, and the city appears poised to deliver.
This is not a nice-to-have project. This project has got to be done.
The plan would make major upgrades to Route 90 from Taylor to Ness Avenues, including adding one lane in either direction and replacing the St. James Bridge, which the city says is nearing the end of its life.
The bridges are, getting to the point in life where they need to be repaired substantially or replaced.
The price tag for the full project has climbed to $757 million, $20 million more than last year's estimate. Meanwhile, the net return the city expects to receive on the project over the next 50 years fell from $20 million to $10 million.
78,000 vehicles a day.
The chair of the Public Works Committee, Councillor Janice Lukes, says the project is needed, but the city can't do it alone.
We have to have other levels of government provide support for this project. It's a key piece of infrastructure. The bridge itself, 78,000 vehicles go on that bridge, making it the highest, busiest section of roadway in the city of Winnipeg.
The city needs to acquire or expropriate 78 properties. The report recommends setting aside $5 million in next year's budget to begin the process. If council approves, construction would start no later than 2027. St. Vital councillor Brian Mays opposed widening Kenaston, though he agrees the bridges need replacing.
I lost a vote. I can live with that. I can move on. But if we're ever going to put $5 million into this, then let's not claim the cupboard's bare for everyone else's projects.
If the city can't secure funding to begin the project by 2027, officials warn they may have to scale the project back to bridge repairs alone. A $221 million option they say would create traffic headaches for years. Cameron McLean, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Politicians returned to the Manitoba legislature today for the opening of the fall session, and concerns over political violence and public discourse grabbed the focus of MLAs on both sides of the chamber. CBC's Josh Crabb joins us now with the details. So Josh, this comes in the wake of fires at the constituency offices of two cabinet ministers.
That's right, Brittany, and both an NDP cabinet minister and a PC MLA stood up in the legislature to address concerns surrounding political violence, both here in Manitoba and around the world. Police are now investigating two separate incidents at Families Minister Nahanni Fontaine's constituency office, one incident involving broken windows, and the other, on Tuesday, a fire. Housing and Addictions Minister Bernadette Smith's office has also had 4 fires. Detectives are not saying if this is random or targeted. Innovation Minister Mike Moroz and PC MLA Josh Gunter addressed the issue in the chamber.
This is unacceptable. And as a government, we unequivocally reject violence against Indigenous women and all forms of political violence.
These attacks are not simply property crimes. They are attacks on our democratic institutions, on the ability of elected officials to serve the public.
Legislature Speaker Tom Lindsay also addressed concerns about decorum in the chamber. He warned MLAs they could be kicked out of question period if they crossed the line, but it wasn't long before things got fiery, with PC leader Abhi Khan questioning comments made by Minister Fontaine about an ASL interpreter and resharing a social media post about the assassination of a U.S. conservative activist, arguing she should be kicked out of cabinet. It happened as a group of people gathered outside the legislative building, calling for Fontaine to be removed from cabinet. That drew this response from Premier Canoe.
Go tell the people who are going to gather here this afternoon that you should not be protesting a Minister of the Crown's right to serve the people of Manitoba. And I would say to the goofballs out front, if you have an issue, you have an issue with me.
Asked by a reporter whether that comment was appropriate, Canoe responded by saying, "It's not all Shakespeare." Khan says he doesn't support violence or vandalism either, but he argues the incidents at the minister's offices shouldn't stop the opposition from asking questions of the government. He held up a binder saying he said contains 450 emails calling for Fontaine's removal.
That's not wrong. That's not too soon. It's our job in opposition to ask tough questions.
The PCs also pressed the government on crime and health care. Question period ended before MLAs could debate whether former Premier Heather Stephenson and former Cabinet Ministers Cliff Cullen and Jeff Wharton should be fined for violating conflict of interest rules. Brittany.
All right, thank you. That's CBC's Josh Crabb. Police are warning Winnipeggers about a rise in distraction thefts where seniors are being targeted. They say thieves are using a number of tactics to steal money, wallets, and jewelry. Cops say a common approach is to offer fake jewelry. They steal the victim's real jewelry and replace it with the fakes. Constable Claude Chauncey says until recently, victims were approached outside grocery stores and in parking lots.
The suspects are now attending residential neighborhoods and approaching victims on or near their property. So that is something of great concern to us as well. The encounters are becoming increasingly aggressive and physical in nature.
Now, police believe the thieves are targeting elderly victims who aren't fluent in English. The Brandon Urban Aboriginal Peoples Council is leading a week of education, commemoration, and Indigenous celebration for truth and reconciliation. Over the next 3 days, thousands of students will be learning from knowledge keepers at Brandon's Riverbank Discovery Centre. CBC's Chelsea Kemp joined them.
It's a moment for students to learn from an elder. They're among thousands of students participating in Brandon's Truth and Reconciliation Week. Knowledge keeper Daniel Morisseau shares teachings and stories with kids celebrating Indigenous culture.
Okay, so buffalo is Pasqua.
While also reflecting on the painful legacy of residential schools in Canada.
If, children were young enough to go and experience that, they're young enough to learn about it.
Grade 6 students say while they love getting to do activities like drumming and eating bannock, they also think about Canada's history and children who didn't have the same opportunities.
Like the bad stuff that happened in the Indigenous schools and how it shouldn't happen ever again. About residential schools and their past and hopefully make it up to them.
Indigenous education specialist Raven Willoughby says the teachings spark a curiosity children can take home and share as a form of reconciliation.
Our students are so much more aware of those common Indigenous practices now, and so they're the ones that are going home and knowing about these with their family members, right? And so they're the ones that are passing on this knowledge.
Morisseau says connecting with students when they are young helps build a strong community rooted in truth and reconciliation.
And I think it's a good age for them to start learning about it, so that way, down the line, they're not denying what happens about this, because they've learned the education, they've learned about the stories, and they've learned about, so to speak, the truth.
Grade 4 to 6 students from Brandon, Rolling River, and Southwest Horizon school divisions will be here until Friday. Chelsea Kemp, CBC News, Brandon.
The province has launched a program to help municipalities recover from this past year's devastating wildfire season. The 2025 Wildfire Disaster Financial Assistance will provide support for local governments who incurred significant costs from the fires. It will also help communities that were either directly impacted or hosted evacuees. The program will help cover damage to vital infrastructure and disruption of essential goods and services. A woman who grew up in foster care says she was devastated by a case where a young girl was severely injured while in care. Last month, 4 children were taken out of a home and the foster parents charged with assault and failing to provide the necessaries of life. For some who previously lived in the system, it wasn't surprising. Selena Starling is now an advocate for Indigenous children in care. She says there's often no consistency between cases and social workers, and that needs to change. Time now for a check on our weather forecast with weather specialist Helena Mahalik.
Happy October, Brittany. It has been a beautiful start to fall. The last day of September even broke some heat records. Let's take a look and see just how hot it got. Places like Carberry and Swan River broke over 30 degrees, breaking records previously set in the 60s and 70s. Winnipeg also got up to 30 degrees, breaking a record previously set in the 80s. For the first day of October, most of the province was hovering in the mid-20s. Brandon even got close to 30 degrees. And as we look ahead to Thursday, it's going to be mainly sunny skies all throughout the day and just a very light breeze. As we start our morning, temperatures will already be quite hot in the high teens. And by the noon hour, we're already breaking into the low 20s. And by the afternoon, getting into the mid-20s. So Brittany, it'll be a beautiful day to get outside and enjoy the fall weather.
All right, thanks, Helena. A Manitoba PC campaign manager named in a briefing note about a multi-million-dollar project just days before the start of the election campaign. More on that story ahead. This is Manitoba.
And this is Manitoba on your smart TV, because CBC News is now streaming local. Local news and weather on your connected TV or favorite device. CBC News Manitoba, streaming now.
The Manitoba PC's 2023 election campaign manager was named in an early memo about a railport project that received a provincial grant right before the campaign started. A briefing note obtained by CBC News shows that campaign manager was slated to meet with a cabinet minister in Heather Stephenson's government about the project, which received millions of dollars right before the last provincial election. CBC's Bartlett Kivas reports.
This land south of Winnipeg, in the arm of Reachot, is the proposed home of a regional railport. A company called John Q. Public, owned by 12 Manitoba municipalities, hopes to land Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railway as the main tenant.
Okay. Thanks so much, Your Honor. Take care.
1 week before Heather Stephenson visited the Lieutenant Governor to kick off the last provincial election campaign, her PC government provided an $18 million grant for the railport to John Q. Public. A briefing note obtained by CBC News through a Freedom of Information request shows Marnie Larkin, the campaign manager for the PCs in that election, was scheduled to be involved in discussions about the railport project. The note shows Marnie Larkin was slated to meet on May 26, 2022 with Cliff Cullen, the Economic Development Minister in the Stephenson government. Colleen Sklar, the CEO of John Q. Public, and Cullen's Deputy Minister were also slated to attend that meeting.
CBC News asked Marnie Larkin about the briefing note stating she was slated to meet with a member of Stephenson's cabinet about the railport. She initially said she had nothing to do with the project.
In a statement on August 29th, Larkin said she was not involved in the Reachot Railport project or any discussions with government regarding a prospective grant. 4 days later, Larkin issued another statement, now saying she was not paid by John Q. Public for work on the railport project. I was not under contract for the rail project, nor have I ever received payment from them related to that work, she said on September 2nd. In July, Manitoba's finance minister ordered up an internal review of the railport grant. He called it mysterious because the outgoing PC government never made the $18 million grant public. Salas said the mention of Larkin in the 2022 briefing note raises more concern.
We've now learned that that same individual from Boom Done Next was meeting with government a year prior to that $18 million going out the door, and that seems to build more concern.
In a statement, John Q. Board Chair Brad Erb said Larkin was consulted in the early days of John Q, but didn't specify in what manner. Erb said neither Larkin nor her company Boom Done Next were hired or paid for any role in the railport project. He said the project is important for the provincial economy.
PC leader Abi Khan wouldn't say what he thought of the PC campaign manager being attached to a project that received a grant from his former government.
This is a project that is going to create jobs in Manitoba, is going to grow our economy, and it's going to open up Manitoba to the rest of the world.
The NDP government is not entirely convinced this flood-prone farmland can be converted into a railport. Adrian Salas said he's concerned the project requires the province to build a ring dike to protect the railport from a major flood on the Red River. An overpass at Highway 75 may also be required.
There are massive infrastructure investments required to support this, and I think open questions about whether or not there is a rail proponent wanting to move in to the site.
John Q. Public's board says it plans to make a major announcement about the railport. Bartlett Kivas, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is facing questions about U.S. tariff pressures and pipelines as he continues to work on greenlighting major infrastructure projects. It's a key part of the Carney government's plan to bolster the economy. Kate McKenna reports.
On tariffs, Canada is once again playing defense.
We have been very clear from the beginning that supply management is not a subject of negotiation with the Americans.
The U.S.-Canada Trade Minister reassured farmers that no major concessions will be made to Canada's dairy quota system, known as supply management, following a report in the Globe and Mail.
Parliament passed a law that we supported happily to make it clear that supply management is not a subject of negotiations in international trade agreements.
U.S. tariffs are piling up. In addition to levies on steel, aluminum, and the auto sector, President Donald Trump announced new tariffs on lumber, cabinets, and furniture.
Our softwood lumber industry is under direct attack
It's easier and cheaper for the Russians to access the U.S. market than it is for Canadians. It's completely absurd.
I just wanted to say we take good note of the new tariffs that were imposed on Canada. Obviously, we disagree with them, but I just wanted to say to all the workers and all the companies that are affected, we will be there to support you.
Opposition leaders questioned Canada's response to the ongoing trade war.
Mr. Carney, who has been elected, saying, I'm the new hero. I'll come from the sky with a cape. I will start negotiation 1 week before the election. I will fix the tariffs, and I will start a negotiation for a new trade agreement. 6 months later, we have seen nothing of it.
While Mark Carney breaks his promise, puts his elbows down, and gets trampled on by foreign leaders, our workers lose their jobs.
But the U.S. administration hasn't budged on its pro-tariff agenda, despite protests from Canada and around the world, leaving countries scrambling to adapt to an ever-changing landscape. Kate McKenna, CBC News, Ottawa.
Okay, well, Riley is off for a few days, enjoying these last kicks at the can of summer and this beautiful weather we have. And filling in for him is Helena Mahalik, who's going to give us our forecast. Helena.
It is a beautiful day to get outside and enjoy the fall weather, but it was a bit breezy as well in the province. Let's take a look and see just how breezy it got. Places around Winnipeg and Gimli got up to 40 kilometers an hour wind gusts. The rest of the province around 30 kilometers an hour, and it gets pretty gusty as a result of storms, which is what we're seeing for areas just southeast of Winnipeg, as well as for areas along the Saskatchewan border. Over the next few days, we are going to see this rainfall continue. Thursday, we are going to see that mainly situated up north, and into Friday, a system is coming through for areas just north of Winnipeg. That's going to be continuing into Saturday in the form of some scattered showers. So a good 3 days of rainfall there. Just how much rain are we going to get? We saw that most of that rain falling up north, places like Tadouli Lake and Churchill getting anywhere from 13 to 15 millimeters. Winnipeg itself will be getting just over 10 millimeters, as well as surrounding areas as well. So a good amount of moisture for that area. In terms of wind with the storms, we are going to see our strongest winds Thursday up north, but into Friday, we are seeing those winds dying down. Into the next few days, we are going to be seeing some beautiful weather for walking your dog. Thursday, temperatures will be hovering in the mid-20s, so you might not even need a jacket like Mocha here to enjoy the beautiful scenery. Thank you so much to Jerry and Shirley for submitting this photo of Mocha. If you'd like your dog submitted, you can email talkback@cbc.ca. In the next 3 days, we are going to be seeing some very hot weather Thursday and some beautiful clear conditions. But as we get into Friday, we are going to see that chance of thunderstorms for Winnipeg and temperatures dropping down to the low 20s. That is going to continue into Saturday, and the sun is going away as those storms continue. But our overnight lows are still going to be well above seasonal for this time of year. And Brittany, I'll have a look at your full 7-day forecast coming up.
All right, thanks, Helena. Well, hopefully you are enjoying the outdoors like our Riley is. We have more to come right after this. Stay with us. A shooting in Quebec has left one person dead and 2 others wounded. Police say it appears to have been a targeted hit. The shooting happened in broad daylight at a Laval area Starbucks in a busy fast food and commercial area. Police say the victim had ties to organized crime. He's been identified as Hierolambos Theologou, also known as Bobby the Greek. His criminal record included multiple convictions for aggravated assault, drug trafficking, and extortion. The 2 people wounded were members of his gang, the Shomedy Greeks. Police say there were no innocent victims hurt and there's no threat to public safety. An investigation and search for a suspect is underway. The U.S. government has been shut down after Congress, which is under Republican control, failed to reach an agreement on funding. It means hundreds of thousands of American federal workers are off the job, and many federal programs and services have been shut down as Republicans and Democrats wage a war of words over who's to blame. The CBC's Chris Reyes reports.
Some 750,000 U.S. government jobs hang in the balance as Republicans and Democrats battle over a funding bill that keeps the U.S. federal government running. Many non-essential workers face getting sent home without pay, and that includes employees at the Security and Exchange Commission, the Federal Aviation Administration. Those at the IRS and health agencies like the CDC are also affected. Both parties, no surprise, are not just blaming each other, they're naming this shutdown after their opponents.
Republicans control the White House, the Senate, and the House. Democrats are here working on behalf of the American people. We're fighting to lower costs, cancel the cuts, and to save health care. And we're House Republicans, they are on vacation.
And then this post from the White House, its claim is that the far left wing of the Democratic Party wouldn't budge on, quote, free health care for illegals and woke nonsense. Further hammering the Trump administration's messaging, Vice President J.D. Vance addressed the media during a White House briefing today. Despite the false claim that the Democrats are providing health care to illegal immigrants, he insisted that the Biden-era health care subsidies were being used for that purpose.
If you're an American citizen, you've been to a hospital in the last few years, you probably noticed that wait times are especially large, and very often somebody who's there in the emergency room waiting is an illegal alien, very often a person who can't even speak English. Why do those people get health care benefits at hospitals paid for by American citizens? The answer is a decision made by the Biden administration that the Trump administration, working with congressional Republicans, undid.
Democrats argue that they're pushing to extend health care subsidies for Americans, subsidies that are expiring at the end of the year because of Trump's so-called big, beautiful bill, which narrowed Medicaid eligibility and made clear that undocumented immigrants are not allowed to receive coverage.
The Republican health care crisis is devastating, the likes of which no one has ever seen. Largest cut to Medicaid in American history. A possible $536 billion cut to Medicare because of the one big ugly bill.
The last government shutdown was under Trump's first administration, and that lasted 35 days. Chris Reyes, CBC News, New York.
The city of Portland is the latest political battleground over Trump's effort to deploy the National Guard against U.S. citizens. He announced plans to send the reserve force to the West Coast city. Tuesday, he told his top generals their troops are needed to fight what he called the enemy within, an apparent reference to Americans protesting against ICE. The CBC's Julia Wong is in Portland with the latest.
It is quiet and calm outside this Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility in South Portland. There is no visible or active signs of protest, but there are groups here that are working with folks who are going inside this building. Now, this ICE facility in the city is why U.S. President Donald Trump is deploying the National Guard to Portland. Protesters have generally been here for months, and a couple dozen arrests have been made. These protests have, for the most part, been peaceful, but tensions have been high at times. Last night, there was a confrontation between some protesters and federal agents, and several arrests were made. Trump is pointing to Portland and saying that it is a war-ravaged city, likening it to a war zone. And he says that he's deploying troops here to protect ICE facilities and their workers from what he calls domestic terrorists.
Okay, how about Portland, Oregon, where it looks like a war zone? And I get a call from the liberal governor
sir, please don't come in. We don't need you. I said, well, unless they're playing false tapes, this looked like World War II. Your place is burning down.
200 National Guard troops will soon be on the ground, but there's no exact timeline on when they will be arriving in the city. The National Guard itself also says its specific roles and responsibilities are unclear.
We understand that we'll be doing some federal facility protection, some federal employee protection activities, but that's about all we know at this time.
The state of Oregon and the city of Portland are pushing back on the Trump administration, saying that this deployment isn't needed. They are suing the administration over the deployment of these troops. And a hearing for a temporary restraining order on this deployment is scheduled for Friday. Julia Wong, CBC News, Portland.
At least 69 people have been killed in the central Philippines after an earthquake struck Tuesday night. Hundreds of others are injured, and a desperate search and rescue effort is underway for survivors. Some hospitals are overwhelmed, treating patients on the streets. Crews are using mechanical diggers and sniffer dogs to sift through the rubble. Roads, buildings, and bridges have all been damaged. A 100-year-old church lay among the ruins. Power's been cut off across the island's north coast. Authorities say it's the deadliest quake to strike the country in more than a decade, and the toll is expected to rise even higher. A Winnipeg man convicted of arson and firing a weapon at the British Columbia home of an Indo-Canadian singer last year has been sentenced to 6 years in prison. The attack happened at pop star AP Dylan's Vancouver Island home last year, and police say it was not an isolated incident. While no one was injured, the shooting came at the same time 2 cars on the property were set on fire. 26-year-old Abjit Kingra was convicted of intentionally and recklessly discharging a firearm. He was also handed a 2-year term for arson. Police say the Winnipegger is part of the Bishnoi gang and say a second suspect has fled to India. But what is the Bishnoi gang, and what do you need to know about them? It's a high-profile Indian crime network linked to a number of acts of violence here in Canada. This week, it was designated as a terrorist entity by the federal government. Lindsay Duncombe looks at who's behind it and its alleged criminal activities in Canada.
The Canadian government blames the Bishnoi gang for terror, violence, and intimidation in Canadian communities. This is its leader, Lawrence Bishnoi, a 32-year-old gangster. He's been in jail for a decade and runs his operation from behind bars.
From behind the prison, he started to expand his criminal empire.
He says that the 2 key ingredients of the Bishnoi gang are fear and money. We create fear to generate money for us. That's his basic formula as a criminal mastermind.
Wesley Wark is a senior fellow at the Centre for International Governance Innovation. He's advised the federal government on national security.
The Bishnoi gang is very famous in India.
In fact, Lawrence Bishnoi has even done interviews from jail. The group claimed responsibility for the murder of rapper Sidhu Moosevala in 2022. He was based in Brampton, but killed in Punjab. And then there's the murder of Sikh separatist Harjit Singh Nijjar outside his Surrey Gurdwara 2 years ago. Sources close to the investigation tell CBC News the 3 men charged with the murder were linked to the Bishnoi group. Canada said India was behind it, setting off a diplomatic crisis.
Canada has declared its deep concerns to the top intelligence and security officials of the Indian government.
Last year, RCMP held a news conference calling out India's links to organized crime in Canada.
And claimed by one organized crime group in particular, which is the Bishnoi group. So that's what we're seeing here in Canada.
Is the Indian government complicit in the running of that organization? Do we know that?
That is the allegation. It's never been tested in court, but it's a pretty high-profile diplomatic allegation, that's for sure.
This time they fired 25 bullets in the early AM of 4:40.
Search for Bishnoi online and you'll see videos like this. There's a pop culture folklore around the gang. And BC's former top cop says adding the terrorist designation to the group makes it worse.
Matter of fact, what we have done by identifying him as a terrorist group, we've raised his profile.
He believes much of the extortion targeting BC's South Asian community is actually local.
I believe that it's absolutely ridiculous. We're trying to pin this down to one particular person when we have a multitude of crime groups and individuals and thugs that are involved in this activity. So now we have local gangsters going out and saying that they are part of the Bishnoi gang to instill that fear in the community so they can extort that money from them.
Lawrence Bishnoi, age 31, a terrorist and a gangster.
The government says naming the Bishnoi group terrorists will make it easier to catch and prosecute them. It may also increase the fear the name inspires.
Zoologist and conservation advocate Jane Goodall has died. Her organization, the Jane Goodall Institute, confirmed her death from natural causes. Goodall was an expert on chimpanzees and a passionate advocate of conserving the natural world. Goodall says she dreamed of working with animals from the age of 8 when she read the Tarzan and Dr. Dolittle books. She later went on to do extensive research on chimps in Africa. Jane Goodall was 91. Permit denied. Marineland's remaining 30 beluga whales cannot be exported to China. So what's next? That story after the break.
This is Manitoba. And this is Manitoba on your smart TV, because CBC News is now streaming local. Get local headlines, weather, and community notices, plus newscasts and live programming on your favorite connected device, all for free. It's called the CBC News Manitoba streaming channel. See your community on your connected TV and mobile devices. CBC News Manitoba, your local news streaming channel, now available.
They're the only whales still in captivity in Canada, but the future of 30 belugas at a shuttered marine park in Ontario is now uncertain. The federal government denied a request to export them to China. Katie Nicholson reports.
Marineland's beluga whales won't be moving to China, but their lives remain in limbo. The shuttered theme park's applications to export 30 belugas to Chimelong Ocean Kingdom denied by the federal fisheries minister.
It was a very difficult decision, but one that I feel was made in the best interest of the whales.
She visited the animals last month.
To see 30 belugas in contained spaces was very difficult.
A source working with Marineland told CBC News the park is about to file for bankruptcy following Ottawa's decision, and that it costs $2 million a month to care for the animals, and it will hand them over to the government to be euthanized. Ontario's premier insists they could still be exported somewhere else.
We don't have to move all 30 in one shot, a couple here, a couple there. We need the federal government to sign off on it, or, these whales they're on their hands.
The Department of Fisheries and Oceans disagrees. It says if Marineland can no longer provide care, responsibility for their welfare transfers to the Government of Ontario under provincial law. Amid the finger-pointing, animal justice advocates see opportunity to push for the development of a seaside sanctuary like the one proposed for a Nova Scotia inlet.
And with federal support, with provincial support to make this happen, anything is possible.
Possible, but it could take a long time to get up and running.
Potentially, you're going to be saddling the taxpayer with millions and millions of dollars for the next 30 to 50 years.
Costly, but perhaps it's just the right thing to do, says this biologist.
Given what we as humans have put them through for their lives today, in some ways, I think it's just owed to them that we do this properly.
Ontario's Solicitor General oversees animal welfare. It hasn't said yet what it plans to do about the whales it could soon inherit. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Toronto.
We'll enjoy the warmer temperatures for the next few days because it will soon come to an end. Time now for a check on our forecast with weather specialist Helena Mahalik.
We may be well into fall, but it is certainly feeling a lot more like summer outside. Let's take a look and see just how hot it got on the first day of October. Temperatures were hovering in the mid-20s for much of southern Manitoba, especially places like Brandon, getting even closer to 30 degrees. The average in the south for this time of year is 14 degrees, so over 10 degrees warmer than seasonal. Same thing in the north, even 15 degrees above seasonal for many areas. Places like the Paw getting up to 26 degrees, the rest of the north in the low 20s. In the next few days, we are going to continue to see some warm weather Thursday and Friday, with temperatures hovering around 25 degrees. Saturday will still be warm, but we are seeing temperatures cooling down to the low 20s, and that's the last day of that heat. By Sunday, with some of those storms, temperatures will dip back into the low teens. As for Wednesday night in the south, we'll see partly cloudy skies, and temperatures will be above seasonal for this time of year. We're seeing temperatures anywhere from 9 to 15 degrees. Areas around Winnipeg are going to see the warmest of that weather, with overnight lows around 15 degrees. Up north, we are still seeing some warm weather despite the chance of some showers for areas like Churchill, bringing temperatures down into the single digits, but still above 5 degrees. But other areas like Norway House and Grand Rapids will be above 10 degrees with overnight lows in those low teens. As we look ahead to Thursday, we are going to see the chance of some scattered showers up north, so temperatures will be a little cooler there for areas like Churchill and Thompson, not quite breaking into that 10-degree mark, but areas like Grand Rapids, on the other hand, getting closer to 20 degrees. A bit of a different story in the south, mainly sunny skies, and temperatures will be hovering in the mid-20s, especially for areas in and around Winnipeg. Temperatures will be around 25 degrees. The closer that you get to the U.S. border, you are seeing temperatures even closer to 30 degrees. And Brittany, I'll have a look at your 7-day forecast coming up.
Thanks, Helena. The sister of a 33-year-old murder victim is speaking out after the man convicted in her death was granted brief escorted leaves from prison for spiritual reasons. Gina Swanson was murdered in 2011. Skylar Van Wiesen is serving a life sentence with no chance of parole for 25 years after being found guilty of first-degree murder. But now he's been granted escorted absences to be able to attend Muslim services at a mosque. Gina's sister spoke with Marcy Marcusa and says the decision is wrong.
We thought justice was going to be at least 25 years of peace for my family and friends. And sure enough, I find out about this escorted temporary absence, and it's like it's starting all over again, 14 years later.
What was the impact on you and on your mom and on, Gina's daughter is now 21. What was the impact, and what's the impact been?
Overwhelming, very overwhelming. We just have to take one day at a time. We try to move forward the justice system that, to me, seems very, very broken. And we just seem like little people that we can't do much. And that's why I'm here to speak out, that I don't think the public really, really realizes how severe some things are broken in our justice system.
You alluded to this, but you were talking about the 25 years. When you did hear, the sentence was life without parole for 25 years initially. What did you think that would mean?
It would mean that he would not be outside those walls of his prison at all. I figured the day would come that he would sit in front of a parole board and they would decide whether he is going to be released temporarily or not after the 25 years at minimal.
And how are you impacted when the various requests come up over the years? Because people may not realize how connected victims remain to, in your case, the man who's convicted of murdering your sister.
Well, I appreciate the whole victim system, how we're kept informed with anything that's going on. But it's just very, very deflating, knowing that it feels like the criminals have a little bit more rights than the victims actually do. That's how it feels.
The purpose of his escorted temporary absences is for, quote, personal development purposes, is to attend a mosque to participate in services and prayers, end quote. That's right from the parole board decision. Just so listeners know, these absences, ETAs, can be granted for administrative reasons, personal development, for rehabilitation, family contact. To you, how much does the reason an ETA is, granted or requested factor into your perspective on how you feel about them?
Well, all of those reasons, I know 3 can be granted, the medical and the coroner's reports and judicial proceedings. But if it's also deemed permitted, I guess you would say, from the parole board, that to me is a little outrageous, for a lack of a better explanation. Somebody that is committed a murder one so violently, I don't understand how any parole board could see that there's any type of rehabilitation that could be done where the victims have to live with this every single day and we have to live with the consequences. Why should he not?
For you, do you believe that inmates should be granted ETAs at all? I'm just trying to dig into your hopes around changing the criminal code, or is the concern for you around those convicted of violent crimes as Van Weesen has been?
The extreme violent crimes like he's committed, 100%. Rehabilitation can happen. I'm not turning the other way on that, but somebody that does a violent crime like that, I don't think it's just, and I don't think it should even be considered.
Outside of the
of the 25
a
years, yes.
Okay, outside of the prison, though, how do you feel about rehab programs within a prison?
Well, my niece did say it best. She learned through the pandemic. She went to school. She took university through the confines of her house. Why can he not learn about religion that he wants to do inside the confines of the penitentiary?
So you don't have an ideological problem with the idea of a person who's been convicted for anything, and in this case, obviously, very personal to you, the man who's convicted of killing your sister, accessing some kind of rehabilitation or betterment programming in a jail?
In the jail. Yeah. There's no reason why they have to be outside the jail, in my opinion.
The parole board says Van Weesen has made progress through in-custody rehab programming. He will be shackled with 2 armed guards accompanying him to those religious services over the next year. Still ahead, a warning for cookie lovers, how scammers are hitting the famous fall cookie campaign. Plus, your final check on our forecast. Stay with us. If you're one of the millions of Canadians who buy Girl Guide cookies each year, be warned, there seems to be an online scam involving the famous treat. Yasmin Renea has the details.
Online scammers are using Girl Guide cookies to make money. Posts from Facebook community groups in BC and Ontario show people claiming their children are selling the cookies.
They don't seem to have access to any cookies. They're not associated with our organization.
They ask for e-transfers up front, but don't deliver the tasty treats.
We are obviously concerned about seeing examples like this out there in the wild, but we hope that they don't discourage any of our supporters from supporting a really essential program for kids and youth and adults.
Cookies are the Girl Guides of Canada's main fundraising tool, helping raise money for programs, activities, and camp fees.
Scammers online today will do anything for a dishonest dollar.
Cybersecurity experts say there are ways you can protect yourself.
First, pay after delivery. So make arrangements, get the cookies dropped off by the parents, and then once you physically have the goods, do the payment then and there.
But if you do fall for these kinds of scams, experts say don't be ashamed and report it to help others. Yasmin Renea, CBC News, Vancouver.
It's been a beautiful start to October. Let's take a look and see if the heat is sticking around for Winnipeg. Thursday, the sun is out and temperatures will be closer to 30 degrees. Our overnight lows at seasonal. As we get into Friday, some showers are dipping our daytime highs into the low 20s. And by Monday, we're seeing that even down into the low teens. Our overnight lows will also be just above freezing, but we're heating back up into Wednesday. And I'm just happy to see the sun out for a few more days.
Thanks, Helena. Well, the chunkiest bear has been chosen. Last week, we told you about the Fat Bear Week competition, and now we have a winner. Okay, you can call this overstuffed bear a champion chunk because he won't mind. It's actually his name and his new title. 32 Chunk, as he's known, has just been voted the winner of Fat Bear Week with 96,000 votes. Every year, a U.S. national park in Alaska asks the internet to pick who's put on the most weight for winter. He's definitely been eating well. That's all for us here tonight. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a great night.